To access the ATC page, press ATC line select key to left on the Unilink menu page. The ATC page provides a number of options for communicating with air traffic control. Options to communicate emergencies, various reports, requests, and general commentary are available on this page. If connected to a current data authority, it will display in the page title. Otherwise, dashed lines will display. To send an emergency message, first go to ATC and then Emergency. Verify that fields for line select keys 1 right through 4 right are correct. Please note that all of these fields are optional. For the Diverting To field, enter the 4-letter airport identifier. For the Descending To field, enter the altitude to which the aircraft will descend. If you need to offset from the original flight plan track, then enter an L or R to signify which side of course you will be offset, followed by an offset distance between 1 and 128 nautical miles. If you need to delete any of these entries, just select the field, press the back key, and then press Enter. You can enter your fuel remaining here using the hours plus minutes format. Be sure to enter a leading 0 if required. The maximum entry is 23 hours, 59 minutes. You can enter the number of persons on board here. Press the Mayday or PAN line select key as needed. The associated ATC review page will display. First, let me demonstrate PAN. If needed, press the free text line select key and enter information as required using a maximum of 24 characters. When done, press the Enter key. This field is optional, so I won't enter any text for this example. Depending on how much information was pre-filled or entered into the right-hand fields on the ATC emergency page, the ATC review page will have multiple pages. You must review all of the pages before the Send option can be selected. Press the Send line select key. The Send option will no longer have an arrow. If you were to have selected Mayday instead of PAN, an abbreviated position report including current position, time, altitude, and speed will display on the ATC review page, if available from the AirData computer or the FMS. Again, you have the option to enter free text as required. You need to review all of the pages before the Send option will be available. Press the Send line select key. The Send option will no longer have an arrow. To cancel an emergency, go to the ATC emergency page. A Cancel Emergency prompt will be available at line select key 4 left, but only after sending a Mayday downlink. This prompt will not be shown after sending a PAN downlink. After pressing the prompt, you will be taken to the review page. Press the free text line select key and enter information as needed. Press the Send line select key to place the message in queue for transmission. For Mayday messages, select a maximum of 3 of the following options: Diverting To, Descending To, Offsetting, Fuels and Souls on board. Souls must be filled in for this field to be valid. And free text, which is available on the ATC review page. Selecting more than 3 of the listed optional fields along with Mayday will result in a Message Too Complex banner being displayed when you try to send the Mayday. If free text was one of the options, the banner will read Message Too Complex, cannot add free text when you try to send the Mayday. The Mayday message will not be transmitted until additional optional fields are removed. To delete an entry, select the optional field, press the back key, and then Enter. Auto-filled options cannot be deleted. Multiple Mayday messages may be sent using this procedure in order to send additional field options if necessary. For PAN messages, you may select a maximum of 4 of the same options. Selecting all of the listed options along with PAN will result in a Message Too Complex, cannot add free text banner and the PAN message will not be permitted to transmit until one of the optional fields is removed. Multiple PAN messages may be sent using this procedure in order to send additional field options if necessary. The ATC Log On page is used to log on to an ATC facility via the AFN application. This logon functions as a data link equivalent to voice initial contact. The functionality of the ATC Log On page 1 includes line select key 1 left displays the configured call sign or allows manual entry of a call sign. Line select key 2 left allows you to select an ATC facility with which to perform an ATC Log On. Line select key 3 left initiates and monitors ATC Log On. Line select key 4 left identifies both the current and next ATC data authorities, if any. Line select key 1 right enables you to select and display the current ADSC operational state. The states include enabled, disabled, and active. Line select key 2 right enables you to select and display the current ADSC operational mode, either normal or emergency. Line select key 3 right will terminate CPDLC connections and display the CPDLC operational state, which can be either active or inactive. Line select key 4 right allows you to enter and display the CPDLC message latency timer. ATC Log On page 2 displays addresses for up to 5 ADSC connections. The rate column will indicate the interval between successive periodic report downlinks. The mode column will indicate whether the connection is normal or emergency. The event column will indicate the type of event reporting requested by ATC. A is displayed when an altitude change event contract is established but not yet satisfied. If the event is detected, the ADSC report is generated and the event contract is satisfied and thus cleared. The contract is established with both an upper and lower level boundary. Breaking either will trigger the report. L means that a lateral change event contract is established but not yet satisfied. If the event is detected, the ADSC report is generated and the event contract is satisfied and thus cleared. The lateral boundary is applicable to both left and right of the flight plan. Breaking either boundary will trigger the report. V indicates that a vertical change event contract is established but not yet satisfied. If the event is detected, the ADSC report is generated and the event contract is satisfied and thus cleared. The contract is established with a single rate, positive for climb or negative for descent. W signifies that a waypoint change event contract is established. This contract remains active until the air traffic service unit cancels the contract or the aircraft lands. A nominal change to a waypoint is a waypoint sequence, but modification of the to or next waypoint within the active flight plan will also trigger a report. The letters are displayed for as long as the contract remains in effect. For A, V, and L, once the specified event occurs and the contract has been fulfilled, it is no longer in effect and the letter will be replaced by a dash. Since a waypoint change contract remains in effect after sequencing a waypoint, the W will be displayed until the contract is explicitly canceled or the connection is severed. When should you perform an ATC Log On? There are basically 4 times when you would do so, as indicated by the chart. The time and conditions are shown on the left. The Log On facility is shown on the right. Prior to initiating an ATC Log On, the following should be verified. The call sign matches the identification in the filed flight plan. ADSC is enabled if you are planning to use FAN's ADSC services. The flight plan contains the correct aircraft registration and address. To ensure correct operation of ADSC, FMS altitudes must be entered into the FMS flight plan for each waypoint within the area controlled by the current air traffic services unit. If a change in the aircraft altitude is planned, then each affected flight plan waypoint must be updated. Failure to enter these altitudes may result in incomplete ADS-C message issues between the aircraft and the requesting ATSU. If the requesting ATSU fails to receive complete ADS-C reports, the ATSU may request voice communications or clarification via a CPDLC message or voice. To perform an AFN logon, go to the ATC Log On page 1. Press ATC to select an ATC facility. You will be given 7 different regions from which to choose. For this example, we'll select the North Pacific region. We are then given a list of the ATC facilities for that region. We'll select Oakland Center, which will automatically return us to the ATC Log On page 1. Now that we have an ATC facility selected, the Log On option is now active, as indicated by the arrow. Press Log On to initiate an AFN Log On downlink message. A successful AFN Log On is indicated by Success displaying above the Log On option. The ATC facility may in turn initiate ADS-C and/or CPDLC connections with Unilink. Here you can see that our ADS-C has now gone active. An AFN Log On failure is indicated by an ATC Log On Fail advisory alert and a status of either timeout, which occurs when there is no response to the AFN Log On or downlink within 10 minutes, or error if Unilink received an error response to the Log On downlink. If a Log On attempt reports an error or transitions from waiting to timeout, contact the current ATSU via voice. There is nothing the flight crew can do on Unilink that will correct those issues. You must revert to voice if the status of an AFN Log On attempt reports an error or timeout. What do you do if your ATC facility isn't listed? Sometimes it isn't in the region you might expect. Take South Africa, for example. Cape Town is located in the South Atlantic. Where is Johannesburg Oceanic? It's found under the Indian Ocean region. You can also manually enter a facility's identifier, including those not listed. In the North Atlantic region, we have Santa Maria, Gander, and New York, among others. Not listed is Moncton. Just enter its identifier. To do this, activate the Other field found on the Regions page. Find the identifier for Moncton from your charts. Notice where it says CPDLC. Enter CZQM and press Enter. You can now log on to Moncton. You can do the same for Montreal, Toronto, and the rest of the Canadian Flight Information regions. ADS-C surveillance is dependent on automatic downlink information from onboard avionics triggered by specified events or time intervals. The ADS-C interface provides the following functions. Pressing line select key 1 right toggles enabled and disabled. Enabled allows ADS-C contracts to be established with multiple ATC stations as well as with an AOC ground host. Disabled suspends ADS-C communication, terminates all existing contracts, and prevents future contracts from being established. Active is displayed while any ADS-C contract is in effect. Pressing line select key 2 right toggles the ADS-C application mode between normal and emergency. This will also change the ADS-C mode on the ATC emergency page and vice versa. Pressing the next key will take you to page 2, where the status of each ADS-C connection is displayed. In the event of an ADS-C connection failure, a NOCOM advisory is produced on the Unilink page of the FMS CDU. CPDLC is a two-way data link system, allowing controllers at a CDA to communicate text messages to the crew instead of using traditional voice communications. When a successful AFN logon is established, a CPDLC connection can be made by the CDA. When the CDA establishes a CPDLC connection, the CPDLC status displayed at line select key 3 right changes from inactive to active. It is possible for CPDLC to become inactive briefly during a handoff from the current ATC to the next ATC. Upon CPDLC connection establishment, Unilink will notify the flight crew by displaying the ATC Connect advisory. The flight crew can then send a downlink, such as a position report, to the CDA if the region NOTAMs or uplink message identifies the need to do so. The crew should exercise prompt response following receipt of a CPDLC uplink. Open CPDLC messages, uplinks or downlinks, should not be deleted. Required closure responses include Wilco, Enable, Roger, Affirm, and Negative. Standby is not a closure response and will not dismiss the advisory. The advisory remains active until the required closure response has been transmitted. Messages resolved via voice must be closed via the data link system, or the ground system may time out due to lack of response to the open message and terminate the CPDLC connection. The current ATC and next ATC fields display the identifiers for the CDA and the next data authority. Selecting Terminate and line select key 3 right breaks all existing CPDLC connections, returning the CPDLC status to inactive. An ATC facility cannot establish another CPDLC connection with the Unilink until the user performs another successful AFN logon. Upon CPDLC connection, the CDA may send a free text uplink with the desired message latency value. Latency may be reset by the crew to the ATC specified value. Upon handoff to a different ATC, a new value request may be received. The request will be in the form of set max uplink delay value to, and then a given number of seconds, as shown, or confirm message latency timer off. When you get such a message, the first step is to acknowledge it. Then, go to the ATC Log On page and select Latency, type in the desired value, and press Enter. The value can be between 1 and 999 seconds. To turn off the latency function, select Latency, and then press the back key. This will remove the current value in the field. When you press Enter, latency will be off. Received CPDLC uplinks can have an optional sent timestamp appended to the message, at ATC's discretion. The message latency value is used by Unilink to determine if a message uplink is delayed by comparing the sent time to the time at which the uplink was received. The delayed status of a given message is displayed following the message text as shown. The timestamp that follows the uplink ATC message will include the word delayed. The crew may decide to respond to the uplink normally or to contact ATC for clarification. Unilink resets the message latency value to the default value stored in the configuration module whenever the aircraft is without a CPDLC connection, such as the end of a flight or commanded termination. The latency value is not automatically reset during a CPDLC handoff.